Here's my ID. And here are my note cards. And here's my audience. Hi everyone, my name is Clement Tsai and I'm doing my persuasive speech. Listen up parents, the time when your children will spend their entire free time playing sports with friends is gone. Children and teenagers nowadays prefer different types of entertainment, such as watching TV or playing video games. Although video games can contribute to the development of a child in a good way. According to the article, another reason to play action video games is good for your brain, says study. Author Lee wrote that researchers of a new study said that playing action-packed video games can be good for the brain. In a new study, researchers found that games that involve large amount of clutter and which require the gamers to make fast and accurate decisions can have positive impact on cognition. But unfortunately, many of those games are extremely violent. Grand Theft Auto, a violent video game that promotes murder and violence. However, considering the nature of such video games, you as parents are still willing to buy your children the game and allow them to play. Next, I'm going to talk about what violent video games companies are doing these days. Due to the fact that technology has become a lot more advanced, companies are able to design games with graphics that are extremely realistic. They also like to include contents that are not appropriate for your children, such as swearing, murdering, reckless driving, drugs, and sex. These contents will have negative effect on your child's development. Next, I am going to talk about the 5 reasons why your children should not be allowed to play violent video games. According to the article, 8 ways violent games are bad for your kids. Author John wrote that to kids, virtual experiences feel very real, not only because the graphics are so amazing, but because they are taken on a first-person role in the coding process. Playing violent video games in a first-camera view is the main reason why your children should not be allowed to play violent video games. For children and teenagers who usually have a rich imagination, virtual experiences for them may feel as real as a daily life. Here's a toy gun. Imagine it is a real gun. The damage your children could be doing with it in the real world is unthinkable after playing these type of games. The next reason why your children should not be allowed to play violent video games is measuring success through killing. According to the article, 8 ways violent video games are bad for your kids. Author John wrote that a feeling of success should come from positive achievements, not the accomplishment of killing someone else. Children acquire their value not only from their parents, but also from everything they are exposed to. These violent video games are reinforcing the ideas that killing someone is acceptable. According to the article, 8 ways violent video games are bad for your kids. Author John wrote that just like you wouldn't allow your child to go to or rent a rated R movie because of its inappropriate sexual content, many violent games are just as bad, if not worse. A lot of times, violent video games like to portray sex in a wrong way. For your children that are too young, violent video games will mislead them toward the knowledge about sex. Another reason why your children should not be allowed to play violent video games is because they might be thinking that violence is the only way to resolve a conflict. According to the article, 8 ways violent games are bad for your kids. Author John wrote that violent video games show kids how to express themselves physically. It's already easier for a child to push another child when they are angry than to express their emotion and resolve a conflict through words. When your children grow up in a culture that advocates violence, they are likely to acquire that value. According to the article, 8 ways violent games are bad for your kids. Author John wrote that when you hear the tragic, heart-wrenching stories such as what happened in Newtown, Connecticut, you wonder how exposure to violent games desensitize people to the act of killing other people. Children who grew up playing violent video games are desensitized to believe that Swearing, murdering, reckless driving, doing drugs, and having sex are normal things to do. During the past few minutes, I have talked about many ways violent video games can affect your children. When being shown something over and over, it tends to become a normal experience. This all leads back to the problem of parenting when discussing the issue. I strongly believe that the majority of the responsibility to this problem falls squarely on you, the parent's shoulder. You as parents who buy your children the game without any knowledge of what is actually inside the game are considered irresponsible. You as parents should have some ideas as to what type of video games your children are playing and the amount of violence contained in these games. However, there are some solutions to this problem that I came up with. What you parents can do is to not buy those violent video games for your children and encourage them to join extracurricular activities at school. I also recommend that the total amount of time your children can be playing violent games should be limited to 2 hours per day, so that your children does not become addicted if not already. Thank you.